Hey guys, so it's been kind of a while since I've done a video and I'm sorry about the real bad lighting and quality. Like for me, where I am in England, it's like late at night. Well, not too late, but it's night time. And I've got a really rubbish phone. So yeah, bear with that. Anyway, but let's get on with this video today. You know, I've been procrastinating in all honesty, and God's been calling me to share this dream he gave me, I believe, about 2 nights ago. So just a bit of a backstory, guys. So this is a prophetic dream and he's given me the interpretation, not just for me, but to share for others, because I really believe this is I say each time it's an important message, but this applies to your life, guys. And so obviously not every prophetic word's for you, but pray about it. But you know, with what it's about, it's going to affect a lot of the body of Christ. I think it's one of those type of things. Like we should always have an awareness about this type of message, guys. Anyway, I had another thought and then it just went. But yeah, I better get. That was the other thought. So now I'm procrastinating. So I just want to highlight. Actually, I've just completed my Daniel fast. However, like it was weird because I was getting a lot of weird dreams during the Daniel fast, and it all involved food. How ironic, because I was restricting myself from certain foods, obviously in the Daniel fast. And if you don't know what that is, guys, I'll do another video separately about what the Daniel fast is. So yeah, but God's really spoken to me through the food dreams, you know, so I'm gonna share this one I had. So let's get on with the dream. I wrote it down so that I could hopefully not ramble on too much, so sorry if I'm looking down. So in this dream, I was walking down a long road. This happens to be where my mum lives. I'm not living with my mum at the moment, but it's where she lives. It's like it's a bit of a quiet village area, and then there's like a main road near where she lives. And along this main road, there's like a garden centre. So, but the road, it just keeps going straight further down, and it goes into more of a middle of nowhere. Like if you keep going, it's like as if you're going to the airport, Heathrow Airport. Anyway, that's just some context. Anyway, so for some reason, I had quite a long journey ahead where I was heading to. The music's a bit loud. Usually, you can get a bus to where I was walking. But in this dream, I knew that God wanted me to walk. So after walking about, say, 10 minutes, 10 minutes into the journey, I would say maybe 10 minutes, I got really hungry, as you do. I really wanted, this sound random, I really wanted sausages, okay? So then in the dream, I think I was with my friend. So someone was with me. Yeah, I don't know quite who it was, but it was a friend of mine who we were walking together to wherever our destination was. And so anyway, so I got hungry and I started to think, I could really do with some food right now, right? So in the dream, I turned around and I walked back a bit, and as I turned around, I saw a whole tray of a variety of sausages and warm rolls. Okay, so obviously I was desiring sausages, right? And then next thing you know, here's some sausages in front of me on a tray. Okay, so I said to my friend, we have to stop. I knew it would delay our journey, and initially I was planning to eat when we got to the destination, but I saw it was free food. I don't know about you guys, but if I see free food, it automatically catches my eye, like, oh my goodness. But obviously the original plan was that I didn't know where we were going, guys. I don't know what the destination was, but it was a place where when we got there, I knew in a dream we were going to buy a really nice meal. So that was our thought process when we got to the destination. That is the thing I had my eyes set on, that I was looking forward to. And I wanted sausages for my meal, but obviously this comes up and we're going to just start the journey, right? The weird thing was, I thought we had only stopped where we were, which was near the garden centre. So we'd walked 10 minutes into the journey, right? And and that the sausages were exactly in that place. However, when we had to walk back, we started to notice that the sausages were further back than we thought. And next thing you know, we walked all the way back to the beginning of our journey. And I was like, we've just gone back on ourselves. Yeah, it might be only 10 minutes into walk, but I was like, you know, that's so weird, because 1 minute the sausages are like where we're at, and the next thing you know, oh, it's all the way at the back of the beginning of where we were. So really weird, don't know why, but that just happened in the dream. When I was looking at the sausages, I was skeptical because they didn't all look that fresh. I thought it would have been cold because it looked like they had been left for a long time. Yet when I touched them, they were still very warm, like they had just been cooked. Then, sorry guys, I can't even read my own writing. One thing I noticed is you really had to search for the better looking sausages. Like there was all these different varieties, and for some reason some looked better than others. And the same for the rolls. There was only like, I just want to say, in the tray of sausages there was like 50 different sausages on this tray, and there was like 5 rolls for some reason. Just as I was planning on eating one, I still was very indecisive. That is the story of my life anyway, but I was indecisive because I knew that the food we were gonna buy at our destination was going to be the best food. I just knew it, right? And I could have a whole meal, not just a sausage and a roll, but this place we were going to, it was gonna be a whole meal, so a lot nicer and fancier than this. And then this random family comes along, just walks down the street, walks down the road, walks past us, and in the dream I recognise one of the girls in it who I know in real life, but the family I didn't quite like recognise, but I recognised her, so she was familiar. Although we didn't speak in the dream, it was weird, but I knew who she was, so I was like, oh, someone I know. And I explain why that's relevant later on. So this family walked by, and I think one of the girls that she was with said, a young girl said like, oh, I really want a sausage, because she noticed it was there. However, the mum was like, no, you need to leave those sausages alone. You might get food poisoning, because I can't remember exactly what else they said, but apparently it seemed to be a thing where they had experienced something dodgy about these sausages before, and these had been here before. They knew about these sausages either way, and they knew it wasn't good for you. So obviously I hear these words, oh, they're poisoning, and it captures my attention. Yeah, so something dodgy happened to them. So after hearing that, obviously I put the food down because I was literally about to eat it, and I continued with my journey, and the dream kind of ends there. So guys, some of you might be thinking, what the heck, you've had a dream about sausages, like where's this prophetic word, you know? And you know, often it's very common for God to use very imagery type things, very like everyday life things, to have a metaphor type meaning behind them, if that makes sense. So the interpretation, I'm telling you now guys, this doesn't usually happen, but I woke up from this dream and I didn't even have to ask God, like he just was like, this means this, like I just knew, right? And God showed me that the sausages, in the theme of sausages, it represented a promise. However, you've probably seen what might be coming. The sausages that were there on the tray at the beginning of the journey were a counterfeit promise. God made that really clear. So, you know, those were a counterfeit promise. However, the sausages, the meal I was aiming to get when I got to that destination was like the real promise, right? But this was a counterfeit. So God showed me, you know, it's a warning, guys. You know, I have been getting a lot of dreams that are talking about counterfeits. You know, and I don't know, it might mean different areas of your life. It may not just mean, like, a promise can look like your future job calling. A promise could look like marriage. It could look like finances. You know, it could mean different, although the dreams I've been speaking about are to counterfeits a lot of the time. They can have actual precise meanings behind what type of promise it is. For me, in this dream, I felt like God was talking about, like, my calling and, like, ministry. But obviously, guys, that's something you've got to pray about. If this speaks to you, there might be a particular promise, but that was just what I got from it. Either way, God was showing me, you know, the devil is going to, I'm sorry, but he's going to try and put counterfeits in your path, on your path. And notice the details of this dream, guys. Notice the details, right? The counterfeit will look exactly like the real thing. They're both sausages, right? But those ones were stale. And wasn't it weird how, like, you know, they looked stale, but they felt warm, like as if they'd just been cooked. And, you know, I told this to my mum actually, June, and she said, Beth, you know, it's a bit like when you reheat food, right? It doesn't look fresh all the time, but it's still warm. And most people would want fresh food. You only reheat something if you have to. And, you know, that's how the devil works. He's a deceiver. He'll go, oh, you know, he'll make you think, oh, look, that they must be fresh because they're still warm. But you don't know how they've been heated up. You don't know how they've been cooked. So the counterfeit will try and really look the same as the real thing. However, God knows our heart, and he's not forgotten you, you know, like, he knows exactly what's going to happen before it happens. And the amazing thing, do you know what, I'm not even going to look at the notes that I was going to speak. The amazing thing was, because I remember waking up from the dream going, oh Lord, like, I feel guilty because, like, I should have carried on walking. Like, why did I just, like, not, I should have known by the signs, you know. But God, you know, showed me, like, Beth, I've got grace for my beloved, like, for my beloved children. Like, there's grace. Yes, we have free will to make the right decision, but God knows that we're gonna get things wrong, guys, and we might be deceived. We've got to be, you know, the last thing we want is to get to that point where we are deceived, but we've got to understand that we are human beings and we're not always gonna get things right, and God's grace is sufficient for us, guys. And, you know, so the other key thing is that, okay, sorry guys, gosh, this is just such, I think, amazing message. It's talking about sausages and there's so much in it. So the I'd only been walking 10 minutes and the promise, let's call it the promise now, don't see it's just, the promise came to me so quickly. It was easy and it was free. And the difference is, guys, when I was meant to go to wherever this destination was to buy a meal with my friend, I had to pay for that meal. In my mind, I remember going, oh, I don't have much, I think in the dream I didn't have much money, but I was saving it for that meal because I just knew it'd be worth it. Now, the enemy is so deceiving. He'll bring something free to you. Something might be in your grasp, on your doorstep right now, that will be like, whoa, that, and you might think, oh, that's obviously the hand of God because it's free, and, you know, God freely gives, and that's how the devil works. And just because something's free don't mean it's of God. You know, the enemy is so deceiving. And so what God was trying to show me was, guys, this counterfeit promise, sometimes it's gonna come too easy. And remember, at the start of the dream, I remember God just saying to me, you've got to walk this journey out. You've got to walk this journey out. And it's not in, it'd be too easy. So guys, think about it this way. When it is the hand of God, yes, things will flow and sometimes will begin to be easy. But not that easy. I don't know if this is making sense, but God wants us to actually play our part and work for something. Do you know what I mean? He wants us to work hard. He wants us to persevere. You know, we're not always going to get things exactly when we want them. Hence in the dream I was desiring, and that's a thing. Like the devil sometimes, or you know, his little minion demons that he sends to like spy on people, like you know they see your desire, they see, oh, this girl looks hungry, you know, so we're gonna give her what she wants. And the thing is, the things that we want aren't always what we need, you know. And yeah, like I'm gonna look at my notes again just because there's more to it than that. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like nothing changed in the journey, but if you would take the opposite direction. Oh, okay. I'm just going to read what I put. So yeah, the promise will be deceiving. The part I went back to get the sausages. It took me to the beginning of the journey, showing how the counterfeit will seem like nothing changed on the journey, but it did. Yeah, so basically, guys, this is another thing to remember. The counterfeit promise will take you in the opposite direction, and not just that, it will delay you. It will delay you. It will delay the journey to the real promise. And this is the thing that God was showing me. Like, you know, God's grace, God's mercy is so amazing, because He didn't stop me from getting to the destination, I believe. Like, you know, I was able to continue on the journey, you know, but you know, when we don't listen to God, and when we try and do things our own way with what we think is best, and not use that discernment, you sometimes might have to start the beginning of the process again. Like, because remember on that journey, it took more effort just to walk back to the beginning of the journey again to get something that wasn't even going to be that nice and poisonous, right? And this is the thing, the enemy's looking to kill, steal and destroy, hence why the sausages were poisonous, right? And you know, that shiny thing that looks great is going to poison you. It's going to steal your faith, like if you draw attention to it, you know. And remember, in that dream I still had to make a choice, and that is why it didn't stop me from getting to my destination. But what would have happened, guys? I don't know what would happen if I ate the sausage. Yes, I'd get food poisoning, but what would that look like in today's context? What does that look like? You know, say if this promises a marriage, you eating that sausage like is like you saying I do to the wrong person that you're going to marry. And then you've got a whole can of worms that have been opened up, and it's going to be a toxic, poisonous like marriage. Or it might seem nice at the start, and then you start to realize this person wasn't the right person for you, that God had for you. And God wants to prevent us from even having the heartache and strain to even, like, you know, God will save us out of any situation when we go to Him and we repent. But you know, He's trying to prevent us from having all that trouble, and you really don't want to be in the hands of the enemy's plan, guys. It's just a cycle of like just unpleasant things. You know, you just don't want that. And you know, sacrifices have to be made sometimes when it's God's will, God's way. You gotta put your pride aside. You gotta have patience and endure the process. And I will say this, guys, although I had to walk on this journey and I felt tired and I felt like it'd be long, when I woke up from this dream, God showed me, He goes, do you know what? You know that journey you were on in the dream? You were actually not far. You were actually almost there. And the journey, right? Although in the dream, I didn't know where the destination was. I didn't even know when the journey was going to end necessarily. But God showed me, it was like, that journey actually, I wasn't making you walk a long way. And God is a good God, and not to explain it, but basically sometimes the promises, they're not as far away as you think, but the enemy will make it like seem like you need something right away, like right now. And if don't be surprised if things happen very suddenly. And that's the thing, if it's not your time, don't entertain it. Like, I knew it wasn't the right time to have my food just because I fancied it, just because I was hungry. I was like, no, like the assignment was to walk, get to destination, have the meal I've been thinking of, right? And the assignment of our promise, God gives us assignment, and it's not like I didn't know the assignment. And so with our promise, we will know the assignment, and we may not know all the details, but God might be like this. For example, it might be, your assignment is to start that business, and to start that business you need to have a business plan, and that's it. Like, yeah, I don't know, but you don't know how the resources are going to come. Maybe you need money, you don't know how the finances are going to come. And that's the thing, guys, God doesn't always give us everything. He doesn't give us all the answers to everything, give us resources right away, but we have to make the journey, make the steps, do the walk, and that's why God wanted in the dream wanted me to walk, not catch the bus. The bus is just like, it was a lazy way, really. Sometimes we've got to walk through these processes for a reason, and it does produce perseverance, guys. And sometimes for the things he's called you to do, you're gonna need perseverance, you're gonna need endurance for it. And I really wanted to highlight that, that journey is not always as long as you think. Sometimes it wasn't. In this dream, this particular promise he has for me and for you, if this word is for you, you're actually closer than you think. And how ironic that when you're closer than you think is when the devil turns up to distract you with a counterfeit promise. Because guys, if you're experiencing a load of counterfeits in different areas of your life right now, remember, it's because something is on your doorstep. You are like really close. And so you should count it pure joy. Like when you see these testings and trials, they're not, obviously, it's not the nicest, because it's draining, isn't it? Because you're like, oh my goodness, this looks so good, but it's not the right thing, Especially, I can imagine if this promise was like a marriage, like, this person might seem so like tick most of your boxes, and you might think, oh my goodness, like this is the person I need to marry, and then when you find out that's a counterfeit, like I can imagine that's so draining. But just know it'll be worth the wait, it'll be worth the testings will be worth it, because the prize is greater than all the things you went through to get there. That's the end of it. Jesus is the main prize, but the beautiful thing is, because he loves us, he also wants to bless us with things abundantly, because it's a part of who he is, his character. His love for us is to give. He gives, and he freely gives, and so I'm gonna try not to go on for too long, guys, but I just want to share that dream. And again, you might get some more things from it, but this is the interpretation God's given me. There's a lot that you can probably take from that. A lot of little small things that seem insignificant, I don't know what the word is, but actually have great meaning. I guess to sum it all up, guys, counterfeit promises are coming, but hold on to hope. Know that God's got you. He will use, this is the other thing I need to mention, he will use things, people, he will warn you, he will bring clarity when you're at that point of making a decision, or you need discernment, or you're about to choose the wrong thing. God, he's an on-time God. And look how close, I was about to eat the sausage in the roll, right? I mean, I was still skeptical, but I was like, I'm really gonna do this. And God sent that family to walk by, and it took that for me to go, oh my goodness. And so what I feel like this dream was saying is like, you will have someone in your path that might look familiar to you. It might be it might be a friend, family member. It might be someone that you don't really know, but you recognize them. Or it might be a angel encounter. You might, God does that. Like, he sends messengers, and they might look like real people that we see in everyday life, or they might actually be angels that he sends down from heaven to give you a message to stop you from being deceived by the enemy. But just know God's got you, he's got your back, and you don't need to worry. But also, it is a really important message. It's a warning to be like, do not just say yes to everything, and just really practice discernment. Pray that God will actually help you with that if you're struggling in that area. But yeah, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, guys, and you will get to your destination. But this is a warning, because this is going to help you. This is why I'm sharing this dream, because you will know when that time comes, you'll be able to remember, oh, okay, right. You'll be able to put the puzzle pieces together, because God will show you. So yeah, that's my thought for today. It's my prophetic word, my prophetic dream. If you've got anything you want to share, any prayer requests, just put that in the comments. I never usually say this because I just forget, but yeah, it would mean a lot, guys, if you subscribe to my channel and like this video. I mean, I'm not really like popular on this or anything like that, and it's not really about that, but yeah, it would mean a lot. I mean, I'm just trying to be obedient to God, really, and so it's never really been about who sees it, but it'd be great if you could like, share, or subscribe, only because I think these messages that God's given me, it's for a lot of people, and like, I just want to help people. Like, we're all on this journey together, and yeah. So, gonna start remembering to say like, comment, subscribe, and hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Okay.